to Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. I'm Ted Bonnet.
I'm still Phil Proctor, in spite of Thanksgiving. And it's Giving Tuesday, by the way. So empty your pockets.
Okay. I'm going to give you a lot of compliments today. You look fabulous, Phil.
Oh, thank you very much, yeah.
We have a lovely, wonderful guest today.
Tracy Newman on the air.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. And your half-sister is Laraine.
Laraine Newman.
Newman.
So you have an interesting, upbringing.
My stepfather, our Lorraine's real father, Laraine is a product of my mother and my stepfather.
Okay.
And she has a twin, as I had mentioned at lunch.
She has a twin named
Paul Newman. Who calls
Newman.
himself Dutch Newman.
Not that Paul Newman.
No, not that Paul. So I was just going to say, though, my stepfather was a very, very funny man. And
you can blame it on
I'm just saying that people wonder where all that comes from, and it doesn't necessarily come from your parents or even the environment exactly.
Yeah, it does
it's just
for
a
me,
thing
of course.
people have, but he was very funny, and I just think we were laughing a lot.
Laraine was a guest on our show a couple years back, and it was fascinating to get to know her a little bit in that you had a pretty regular, modest upbringing in Westwood.
Yeah.
And yet here you are with a family dynasty at this point. With her daughter Hannah.
That's right.
On
She's
Hacks.
pretty remarkable.
She's terrific.
Yeah.
She's terrific. It's like, wow, what your
good
stepdad
genes.
must have been really funny.
Yep.
I believe in that. I really believe that you inherit comedy genes, among other things.
Well, I think you grow up appreciating humor if you're around funny people, and that just is
and
who
it
you
encourages
are.
you to be funny because you want to be a part of it. Back in Goshen, Indiana, I remember all the relatives sitting around a kitchen table, smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey, and telling funny stories.
That's right.
And in the Midwest, a lot of them were Shaggy Dog stories, very surreal and fun. Yeah, a Shaggy Dog story is like. These two brothers used to go fishing all the time out in Lake Wawasee. And the older brother was always just pulling the fish in. Mm-hmm. And the younger brother he never could come up with anything, maybe a minnow. Oh. And so one morning he got up before his brother, when they're going fishing, he put on his brother's clothes, took his brother's fishing gear, sneaked out of the house, got into the rowboat, rowed out on his brother's side, sat on his brother's side of the boat, and cast away, waiting to pull him in. And he sat there for an hour.
Oh, it didn't matter.
Nothing. And finally, in his disgust, he threw the rod down in the boat, and he started to row away. And a fish popped its head out of the water and said, "Hey, where's your brother?" That's a Shaggy Dog story.
That's a Shaggy Dog story.
Or a Shaggy Fish story, if you will.
Tracy, you have... a really interesting career behind you, and ahead of you, I would imagine.
I don't think of it as a career. I think of it as just having followed my passions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess in some, at the end of your life, it's your career. But I never really was looking toward a career. I just was doing, most of the time, following men. Like funny men. Yeah. Uh-huh. Wanting to be around funny men. In fact, that's probably has guided me my entire life. Yeah, wanting to be around not just funny men, funny women too.
Funny women, funny people.
But probably in my younger years, mostly funny men.
Yeah. Well, you've written on countless television shows, but you started, interestingly...
Wait, the most famous of which was Ellen.
Well, no, Cheers was probably the most famous.
All right, Cheers is where you got your start.
Yeah, Ellen.
The Nanny, Drew Carey Show...
Hiller and Diller, nobody mentions it anymore.
Hiller and Diller.
And Bob.
Bob, which is one of the Bob Newhart shows.
Yeah.
Bob. So, but you started off wanting to be a folk singer.
And the Jim Belushi show, which is
According to Jim.
I Hate Jim. Right.
So we'll get into all of that. You initially wanted to be a folk singer.
Yeah, I went to New York when I was like 18 or 19 to be a folk singer. And, that was really at the time when Dylan was there and Joan Baez and Judy Collins and... just everybody from that era was where they were starting to surface. And interesting thing was, to me, at that time, we were all singing other people's songs. Mm-hmm. So when Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell were writing their own songs.
Yeah.
That was a game changer for everybody. I mean, there was no way. I wasn't a good enough singer to be out there getting a record deal.
Yeah.
And so then I started writing, in the 70s, actually, I started writing. But,
so it was sort of a rebellion because your parents said, no, we don't want you to be a folk
my parents
singer.
didn't want us. Not only did they not want us to be in show business, they didn't allow show business talk at the dinner table.
Really?
No.
Now, wait a minute.
My mother didn't allow it.
Why would that be off limits?
She just, my mother, I think my mother was an actress when she was very young. She had my brother when she was 18, so that's the end of that, right?
Right.
And she married an actor, and he couldn't get work, and even though he was very good and very well trained and really cute and everything, and that was in the, the 40s. He just couldn't get work, and I think they just felt like that was...
They're trying to be protective.
Yeah, I think that was the timing.
So they sent you to, they made you go to the University of Arizona?
I went to the University of Arizona.
Yeah.
I also went
to get a real career.
Whatever that is. I also went to the Lawton School for Dental Assistants.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which it's funny because I enjoyed it because you got
Charles Lawton, huh? I know I admired his teeth in the early movies.
God.
They had us write a thing about why we came there, and I wrote that Charles Lawton was my favorite actor.
Did you?
And they were very offended.
They were offended.
Yeah, they had no sense.
Getting
of
in was like
that.
pulling teeth, huh?
Wow. So you were sent to the University of Arizona to get a real job.
Yeah, well,
But then you fell into a group of folkies.
I never attended class. Not one class.
Not one.
I don't know any of the teachers that were. I don't know anything about. I immediately was busking on the street corners, and then picked up by radio there, and met a whole bunch.
Busking.
Remember
by
Bud
the
and
way.
Travis?
Yeah.
Well, Travis was in Arizona at the time, and I got to know just this community
That's it. Yeah, that's
of
how
folk
you
singers,
learn.
and I got better and better and better.
I'll bet.
Now, there's a
sure.
clip of you on YouTube that's gotten millions of hits.
From 1965.
Hey,
Wow.
still hitting on you, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody obviously they didn't post it in
What-
1965. They posted it. Somebody posted it about 5 years ago, I guess, or no, more like 2015. Somebody
Wow.
posted it.
What is it?
It's me playing banjo and singing Cripple Creek
Oh.
on a PBS show that I was. I had my own.
Hoot Nanny?
No, this was it was called What's New. It was a KNET, which was,
Yeah.
I don't know if PBS had started yet, but it was public television.
Right.
And they hired me to do 6 episodes of this children's thing called What's New. And I wrote it, and I did all of them.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
and a lot of those. It's not just the one that got 6 million hits. There's a whole bunch of those out there.
You have
now.
an album of children's songs, don't
I
you?
have 3 albums.
You
now.
were
3?
You were a kid.
But wait a minute.
I was a kid.
I can only count up to 2.
I have 3 adult, I say grown-ups because if you say adult, it sounds like
it's dirty.
porn.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so 3 albums for adults and 3 for grown-ups and 3 for children.
Which is what you...
What order should you listen to them in?
I think you should listen to the adult stuff first.
Oh,
'Cause That's
okay.
what I did
Well,
first.
and you're still doing it. I mean, you just played a set at McCabe's in
I
Santa
was
Monica.
just in McCabe's, in February.
With an adoring crowd.
It was really
It's
remarkable
a nice
to
house.
me. It was really
Isn't that
something,
a warm,
yeah.
wonderful, fun place?
They knew all the songs, which was a shock to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
And so that was very gratifying.
Yeah, good.
But then somehow you got into television. How did that
Well,
happen?
Before the McCabe's.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got into television in 1989, 90, around then.
Mm-hmm.
I had a writing partner named Jonathan Stark, and we knew the people who were running Cheers because they had been at the Groundlings with us.
And the
we didn't
Groundlings
mention
is-
the Groundlings,
that's
but anyway.
right.
So I'd been at the Groundlings.
You were one of the founders of the Groundlings.
Yeah, with Laraine.
With your sister.
And we started there in 1972, actually. And then we built the theater in 1974. And that theater, it's the 50th year of
Yes, they just
of the
celebrated their
Groundlings,
50th. But the
Yeah.
Groundlings, of course, so far as the history of L.A., that was the birthplace of
Yeah,
so many
I was there
famous
for
people.
I was these days you can be a groundling for maybe 5 years, but when I was a groundling, you could be there for 15 years, which is what I did. And but also back then, when you wanted to be a groundling, you were just a groundling.
Yeah.
So, but I was there when Phil Hartman was there, and John Lovitz, and Kathy Griffin, and Julia Sweeney, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There was some
Pee Wee Herman,
Pee-wee, of course.
Pee-wee. Will Ferrell,
Cassandra Peterson,
Elvira.
Well, Will Ferrell was coming in as I was leaving.
Okay.
And
so it was definitely a stepping off point.
it was you know what it is? It's a farm company.
Farm company.
For the SNL. It still is, So
That's right. I mean, Lorne Michaels came and sort of stalked your sister, and she was the
That's right. She was the first one. Yeah,
she was the first hire for Saturday Night Live.
That's right. And then Lily Tomlin. I did a show. I knew Lily from New York in the 1960s, and Lily asked me, "Where should I go? I'm in L.A. Where should I go to find performers for my special?" And I told her to come to the Groundlings, which was at that time at the Oxford Theater. We didn't have a theater then. So she came, and Lorne was the producer of her special. So she and Lorne were there at one of those, that place held 30 people, Mm-hmm. There were 25 people on stage.
And 30
in the audience.
That's common.
And so they chose about 7 people, actually, for Lily's special. But Laraine was... Laraine had so many characters. Laraine was just remarkable.
Firesign Theater was supposed to be on that special, but Lily came to see one of our shows in which Phil Austin played a woman, and it was a menstruation comedy bit.
Yeah.
Well, that was the end of our association with Lily.
I want to talk to you about your TV career. You really had in the 90s, you really got the last big bite of the TV thing.
I feel like we followed that final wave.
Yeah.
We really did, because I know that the money changed after that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at that last wave of those people who were getting big development deals and stuff. So
that was nice.
Yeah, we had a Disney ABC development deal for something like 6 years, and wrote so many pilots that didn't happen. But then finally in 2000 actually, we sold the According to Jim pilot, which, an interesting thing people wonder, like pitching, these shows. This pitch was, this is a family, husband and wife and 3 children, and we're trying to keep the romance alive of this husband and wife now.
Right.
In these times. That was our pitch. In these times.
Really?
Keeping alive in these times. And they're in Chicago. And so, that's what that was. But we had Jim Belushi attached. So, there was no way they were going to at least not pay attention.
That was the last vestiges of network, right? I mean...
no, there was more after that. But that was... We rode that wave, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, cable was
big already.
It was really big, but still the networks ruled.
The networks totally ruled.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and so did multiple camera live shows like that.
Created by Desi Arnaz.
Yeah.
For I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
But because you still had critical mass with the networks, and the economics were there with the advertising revenue, so it was still a really wonderful career.
Yeah, because you talk about Ellen, for instance, the coming out episode, which was in 1996, had a massive audience. Yeah. You can't even get that today.
No.
That was
too fragmented.
That was the last of the collective, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Michael Jackson show with Oprah. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
That was huge, remember? Yeah. And then I think the Ellen coming out
Tiny Tim's
episode
Marriage.
That was pretty
Johnny Carson.
That was earlier.
Right? That was earlier.
Much earlier.
And then SNL was like that, too. Remember, everybody was talking about it and watching every week.
That's right.
So it was, but that was, of course,
appointment television, they used to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the seasons of Saturday Night Live was an event.
That's right.
And now pretty much it's the Super Bowl.
Did Laraine talk about, whether or not she should even accept that show? Do you know that there were other Groundlings offered that show that turned it down?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, all I know is that she she told us a story about how she, the last thought she was ever thinking was that she was going to leave Hollywood to go to New York when everybody was doing the opposite.
Yeah.
She packed up her Volkswagen with all her records and
all her costumes,
all her best, all her material,
all
her writings, and the car was broken into within a day of arriving in New York.
Everything was stolen.
Yeah.
Her wigs, everything.
God.
Yeah, but I mean, saying yes to a show where you have to move.
Yeah.
That was not the other Groundlings that were offered that show had careers.
Yeah, right. They
were already working.
Right.
And Laraine was 23 and not working yet, and so why would she say no?
Have you seen the movie? Saturday Night
Not
Live?
yet. I haven't. I don't know why I sit.
You'll enjoy it.
I will.
It's
Laraine said I would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's comedic chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jason Reitman did it.
Yeah.
Amazing. He built in Atlanta, Georgia. They built a 2-story set to exemplify the experience at NBC, and so they shot everything kind of like live, right? Live from New York, live from Atlanta, and it creates a wonderful feeling of immersion.
Well, I'm sure that that what they captured was the chaos and the insecurity.
Oh,
and
my God. Yeah.
And I interviewed Aykroyd and Chevy Chase in season 2. And so I was in the periphery, went to see a taping, and the new guy came out to do the warm-up, and that was Bill Murray. It was back in those days. To me, from an outsider's perspective, it felt like they did capture the energy and the excitement of that time.
The danger, really, the danger of what
it's
they were doing.
hard to watch those actors playing I mean, just like with any other biopic, it's really hard for me to.
They did a really good job. I have to say. I think
know Laraine said that some of it was true, but a lot of it wasn't.
Yeah.
I read for the part of Milton Berle, but I didn't quite measure up to the role.
Who played Milton Berle in that?
Somebody.
No, somebody.
Somebody famous.
Yeah, it is somebody famous. I can't remember.
That's Siri.
I thought that
Berle.
he's talking to his phone.
I turned my phone off.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, that's
J.K.
right.
Simmons, yeah,
J.K.
boy.
Simmons. And the Chevy Chase was very good too. Very.
Yeah, I've seen some clips of that. They use that a lot in the trailer.
Our guest today is Tracy Newman.
Hi.
Hi, Tracy. So we were talking about television.
Yes.
The 90s in the television business.
Yeah.
That was still Fat City. That was still the thing to do, right?
It was. My partner and I have to say, even though we worked very hard, and there were a couple of years where we did freelance. Our first staff job, was Cheers. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about pitching a show, we didn't ever have to pitch a show until, according to Jim, which was in 2000, the year 2000.
Wow.
We went from
Once
as
you
I
got
said,
into
you work,
that system,
you get your foot in the door.
Yep.
Not just the door, but the door of the most popular show on television, and you're in demand.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from show to show. We didn't have our own show until, according to Jim.
Well, you were show runners in that you ran from one show to another.
That's funny. The second definition of showrunner.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we just were extremely lucky to not have to go pitching anything.
Now, there were a lot of partnerships in those days.
A lot of partnerships. My feeling about it is this. I was a woman. I was 46 years old.
Wow.
I'm on my first job.
Wow.
On television.
Wow.
John was 10 years younger, and he was a man.
And he was
a funny man.
Right.
So, we paired up before we knew this.
Yeah.
But we paired up, and I
Did you
realized,
meet funny?
No, well, we were in the Groundlings together.
That's
so,
it.
in that respect.
So you're saying
Chemistry.
being with a younger man, because at 46...
If you're a woman and you want to write in television, I don't know if it's that way anymore.
Oh, sure.
But it can't hurt to have, as a partner, some guy that makes you laugh and that you work well with, because they get 2 for the price of 1.
Yep.
Now, that price, when it starts out, is 2 for the price of 1. But as time goes on and you're making more money, you don't notice that because you're making so much more money.
That's right.
I don't know these days. The money thing is quite different these days. But it's not like it used to
be. So even in the 90s, there was a lot of sexism?
When I got that job on Cheers, I fulfilled probably, I don't know if they really had quotas, because they didn't talk about it. But I was older, and I was a woman, and they also got a guy.
Yeah.
So we were a good bet. You know, you have to make yourselves appealing to the business side of things, I think. And
but you didn't have to grow a mustache or anything.
No, I didn't have to act like a man or anything. And then there were some shows where it was better. You were better off being a woman.
Tootsie.
You know, and on Ellen it was like, you know, it didn't matter at all. I mean, it was great.
Did you work in teams, or did you work in a large room? And
we worked a writer's room, big room, and sometimes we would, you know, like to write scripts. My partner and I would leave. We had our own offices.
No, wait, you told us also that you used to smoke cigarettes by the dumpster.
That's on Cheers. We didn't have an office.
That says a lot about television.
This is the truth. I mean, you people who are listening to this thinking, on Cheers? What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, we didn't have an office.
Well,
and by the way, we were just starting to write on electric typewriters and some computers and stuff. But I mean, when you wrote a script then, you were whiting out and I mean, I look at it now and I think, how did we even do that?
Fireside Theater, the same thing with carbon copies.
Carbon copies,
of everything we did, you know.
Now, when I wrote at CNN in the late 80s, we had triple carbon, and you would type it, and they'd say, you know, we need you to rewrite this story. When does it air? It airs in 90 seconds, you know, whatever. And I'm writing, and I really learned how to type quickly. And they would take one of the three, hand it to the anchor, put it to the intern who was running the teleprompter, and the anchor, they were the real stars because the anchors would read something like, what is this? And they would rewrite it and scribble it and change it and change it and change it. And you'd see the thing go through the teleprompter, and it was illegible to me.
Yeah.
And somehow they could just tiptoe through the minefield.
Amazing.
And sound completely smooth.
What do they call them? Newsreaders.
Well, these were back in the day. It was like Reed Collins. I mean, these guys were rock solid.
I'm being cynical.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they really were masters at their art.
Yeah.
And all these new arts that were created by television and all the other media. And what's interesting is the way television has evolved now, which Tracy was talking about earlier. There are so many choices.
This is like the best time to be watching television.
It's a golden age of television. Is it a new form?
It's a good time to be watching television, but what about making television?
I think it's hard. It's like with all the opportunities, and there are way more opportunities than there have ever been. But I think in many ways it's harder to break in now than even it was for my partner and I.
No continuity.
You know, I don't know how they do it. I think that if you've come up with your own show, if you can shoot it and get it on YouTube and get some followers, or on Instagram or something like that, that's one way to do it. But I mean, honestly, you know,
that's why we're filming today.
YouTube is now the monster.
It's a monster.
It's not only swallowing podcasting and creating more of a visual medium of that, but it's also a really valid, perhaps the valid way to establish your own presence without going through the networks or the cable channels, because the technology is so readily accessible and inexpensive.
Well, you know,
there's no reason not to do it.
You know, the idea of that combination of your cell phone, if you've got a really high, you know, like a good quality iPhone, and YouTube, I mean, you can shoot your own movie.
Yeah,
you can.
Yes. And you can do a TV show.
Do you happen to know how much money you put out every month for TV, for entertainment?
I looked at it the other day.
I have not looked at it. I'm afraid to look at it.
Some people spend upwards
hundreds
of
$200.
Yeah. I mean, we cut the cord.
Are you guys kidding me? I'm talking $500, $600, $700 a month.
Well, you're crazy.
I'm not. No, I don't even know. I don't know. All I know is Comcast alone is $290 for me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You better look for
and
another program.
You have to look at that thing, and you have to look at it and say, how many of these cable boxes that I don't use?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go return the cable boxes. If you get something like $10 off of it, or maybe $20.
Cable boxes?
Yeah,
I have a satellite.
I still have a cable box.
Well, California just passed a law now making it requiring subscription services to make it much easier as easy to cancel as it is easy to sign up.
And also to let you know what you already have. Sometimes you're like,
you don't know.
You do with a different
secret charges,
a different email address. You buy it again.
Yeah. Well, you know what the younger people are doing, have been doing, and I did it too. We cut the cord in like 2003.
You mean get rid of cable?
Yeah, we cut the cord when we cut the cord for our daughter because we didn't want our daughter to be raised in a television commercial environment. It worked, by the way.
She's homeless, by the way.
I wasn't going to ask you.
She got used to not watching anything.
She's not wearing any product at all.
Lives in a tent.
But the thing is that the way it is now,
she's not eating.
No, she's not.
YouTube. I think the greatest bargain out there right now is the $14 a month premium YouTube subscription.
I don't even have that, and I should get that.
What that does is because the networks are all failing, so they have to
find a new platform.
They have to find new platforms. So that's why Colbert and all the nightly shows, they're all on YouTube because they have to be. And actually, Seth and those guys are fighting the network, saying we have to be on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So if you subscribe to YouTube Premium, there are no commercials. There are more 5-second pre-rolls.
Let me ask you this, then. You're going to be doing an ad for YouTube right now.
Who isn't?
Hannah Einbinder, right? My niece, right? My sister's daughter.
Star of Hacks.
Lorraine's daughter.
Lorraine's daughter.
Chad Einbinder.
Chad and Lorraine's daughter was on Jimmy Kimmel last night. Mm-hmm. I knew she was on, but I was already in bed, so I thought, I'll try to watch it on YouTube. And obviously I couldn't because I don't subscribe to YouTube. But also I knew that I had to wait a day to watch it on YouTube. But if I subscribe, I don't have to wait a day, do I?
There's a little bit of latency, but not a lot. I mean, Seth's show airs before the broadcast. SNL you can watch before it actually airs.
Oh, but I didn't know that I could watch it.
The East Coast feed.
The
East Coast feed.
Yes,
right. All right.
Yes. So you have to wait for them to perform it. But the nightly shows...
No, that would be amazing if you didn't have to wait for that.
But Seth Meyers records in the afternoon in New York.
Yeah.
So, pretty much 2-3 o'clock our time.
Yep.
So he's usually on earlier, and they do.
What is he, a family man or something? What's he doing? Why is he doing it in the daytime?
But they cut him down to 4 days. They made him fire his band.
Oh dear!
And they cut him down to 4 days a week because the marketplace is dying. The broadcast marketplace. So they're going on YouTube anyway. The point being is that it's on-demand television by segment. So I never see a commercial. And so sometimes the guest segments in these talk shows come on maybe even as much as the next day. It depends. But then they're all there without any commercials.
But then how about if you want to watch the show Rivals is on Hulu?
Yeah, no, it's not the entire universe.
Hulu, right.
It is.
So I mean, that's what my problem is. I'm so caught up on shows that I end up buying. Like I actually just resubscribed to Paramount. Because I wanted to watch The Jackal, I think, is on Paramount.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm spending, but I realize also
it's a write-off.
Communication is the big thing now. It's what you spend your money on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, listen, we're leaving out an important part of Tracy's career, which is that you have continued to sing. We talked about some of the records that you put out and everything. And would you, because we're getting near the end of our...
Once a folkie, always a folkie.
Did you have a song you might want to play for us?
Well, this is not a song I wrote recently, but I wrote it a long time ago, and I...
Who would know?
Just started singing it because... I realized I wanted to sing it because of the election. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Partially, And this is like a folk song, too. Let's see. Sunny skies are sitting ducks, 'cause random clouds can cover up all the light that sees you through the day. When troubles travel like a pack of wolves, and you cannot find the will to find your way. Songs of hope, songs of freedom, songs of love, strong and true, come to you when you need 'em, and the light comes shining through. When somebody takes your heart, rips and tears it all apart, and passes out the pieces on the street. John or Jackson Brown has a song to give your sad heart back its beat. Songs of hope, songs of freedom, songs of love, strong and true, come to you when you need 'em, and the light comes shining through. Maybe Beck or Bonnie Raitt or Merle Haggard is your taste, or the Beatles or Tom Waits or Elvis Costello. Songs of hope, songs of freedom, songs of love, strong and true, come to you when you need 'em, and the light comes shining through. Now, I know I didn't mention some people's favorites, so let me give it a try. Maybe Dylan or the Stones, Joni Mitchell, Leonard Cohen, Neil Young, Nina Simone, or John Pizzarelli. Songs of hope, songs of freedom, songs of love, strong and true, come to you when you need 'em, and the light comes shining through. Well, let the light come shining through.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Tracy
Thank
Newman.
you.
That's what's the name of that?
Songs of hope.
What a timely song.
Wow.
It is, it turned out, it's so funny that when, as a writer, that you write something and you put it away. You just think,
Yes.
I don't know. Like,
Right.
And then something happens where you sing it somewhere and you think, oh my God, this is
that's
time for this.
What is your take on today, what we're facing the next few years in terms of hope? How do you deal with it? How do you cope?
One thing, and I think I said this to you guys at lunch, is that because I do have friends who voted differently than I did.
Sure.
And what I say to them is really that I hope in a year that I'm apologizing to them for some of the things I said. I do hope that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do hope that. I hope it's not as bad as we think it's going to be.
Well, if you learn how to speak German, you can apologize to them auf Deutsch, und das ist gut, ja.
I don't know. I see people leaving the country, and it's appealing, but where do you go?
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
My
I don't know.
friend-
Richard Gere went to Spain. That sounds
That's true.
Tracy Newman, what a delight to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you for singing.
really fun to be here.
Yeah,
Nice
it
to
was
meet
great.
you.
Nice to
Ted.
meet you.
great.
Of course, I've known Phil for a long time.
And you're still singing away. Like I said, you were at McCabe's recently. You're going to be singing some
I
more?
have no gigs. Well, no, I do have some gigs coming up, but if I had to try to tell you what they were,
Well, how do people keep up with you?
Just TracyNewman.com, spelled just like Tracy, like Dick Tracy, and I'm on YouTube. Just look up my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's a really fun thing.
Be very entertaining.
YouTube. That's right. You're all over YouTube.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's my tube. It's her tube.
It's our tube. All right, folks. Thanks again for listening. This is Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. I'm Ted Bonnet.
I'm Phil Proctor. Thank you, Tracy Newman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful contribution.
Come back and
to the
sing
show.
again, please.
I shall.
All right, everyone. Phil and Ted's Sexy Boomer Show. You can hear all the back shows
Yeah.
at sexyboomershow.com.
Stay alive.